means movie news, your place for entertainment headlines. And indeed, this is a live news show for movie fans, where we talk about all the trending movie news headlines of the day, including what's going on with Ryan Reynolds in his next movie, Denzel Washington taking on a classic film. Cool, man. Highlander Villain. Is it revealed? And if that casting is true, will he be playing the Kurgan? I don't know. And of course, we'll talk about that Oscar category that got announced yesterday. Hey, it's a 24-hour news cycle, guys. If we don't get into it on that day and it comes out like 30 minutes after we're done our little stream, we'll get to it. Don't worry. Jonathan Majors is back in the headlines, and Lisa Frankenstein opens up this weekend, and it stinks, guys. Lisa Frankenstein is easily one of the worst films I've seen in years. Like, that it's worse than You People. It's worse than The Bubble. It's worse than Night Swim from last month. My God, it's terrible. And the projections for Dune Part 2, looking good, looking solid. All right, let's start off today's show by talking about Jonathan Majors. It doesn't look good, man. Jonathan Majors accused by abuse by two more women. Lovecraft Country crew members recall difficult behavior. Some more women have come forward. Guys, so this is not good. This doesn't bode well for him. He thought maybe he could get through maybe the one with one of his girlfriends, but then it seems like other people are coming forward with this. I'm not somebody who's going to be kind of like, well, involved in a conspiracy that these women are just trying to bury him, because it does seem like there was a bit of a toxic situation for at least one of his girlfriends, but it was kind of like you can't be putting your hands on each other kind of thing, right? You can't do that. And it seems like he did. So it's kind of like it's dirty laundry, and it looks like I don't see him ever coming back from this. I hope that he's somebody that has some skills in some other field. Hopefully he went to college, become an accountant, find an office somewhere to settle down with, build a family, and just, you had your chance. You had your 10 minutes, man. And I think it's time. I know that's not what people want to say, right? He has a history of volatility. Well, you know what? Even so does Brad Pitt. You heard that there were reports yesterday that, Brad Pitt on the set of Legends of the Fall was very, very volatile, freaking out at people. No, his character was volatile, but that doesn't excuse anything, right, guys? And it's just kind of like, this is splashed all over the trades today, guys. You're going to see this across everybody's board today. And it's kind of like, it's just an accusation, James. But it's kind of like, what do you do? You just can't say on blind faith, no, he's innocent. That's moronic. But I'm also not going to say that he's guilty on blindly. It's just the accruing accusations is not good. And even if he is acquitted from all of this stuff, it's the PR and it's the nightmare. And I think Jonathan Majors, sadly, I think, dude, you're done for a good long time. And that's going to break the hearts of Jonathan Majors fans, because he's got talent. He has talent. And, well, we'll see where the chips fall. Chris Schober in the live chat says, hey, James, how's it going? Hey, I just want to test. Why is that not connecting? Yeah. Does Jonathan Majors have a new cast character for Kang yet? No. The MCU. No, there's no replacement for Kang just yet. And we don't even know if they're going to go forward with Kang anymore. Because there's talks, we heard the talks that they're going to change course and maybe go with Doom, Dr. Doom from Fantastic Four instead. Doom Generation or whatever. I would say go that route. Just switch course and go route. no, the casual fans out there that watch big things like the Avengers movies that made them billions of dollars, they don't care about which villain comes next as long as it's going to be about the good guys coming together to defeat them, right? Or him or her or who it may be. I just, yeah, it's not a good way to start out the stories today, but we have to get through some unpleasantness. And Lisa Frankenstein opens up in theaters this weekend, guys. So I'm going to be doing my review here now. And I just want to make sure that I've got all of my slides in order. So just give me a second here. And let's make sure we got this plate going. Yeah, we got that plate going. Got this plate going. All right. Excellent. Do it. Lisa Frankenstein is in theaters this weekend, guys, and I gotta tell you, this is easily one of the worst films I've seen in years, and that's including last month's Night Swim, last year's You People, The Bubble on Netflix was one of the worst things that I thought that I saw, but nope, Lisa Frankenstein trumps it by far. It makes those films look like Shakespeare, I said in my straight out of the theater reaction. And I'll tell you why. I've got multiple reasons why, but you hear me out here. The synopsis over on IMDb reads, a coming of rage love story about a teenager and her crush who happens to be a corpse. After a set of horrific circumstances bring him back to life, the two embark on a journey to find love, happiness, and a few missing body parts. Starring Catherine Newton, Jenna Davis, Trina Lafort. Oh, who's the guy? Who plays the Frankenstein guy? Is it Henry Eckenberry? It's got Carla Gugino in this too, guys. And you look at the cast for this, and you're like, this should be good. Catherine Newton is a good actress. She is. And you could tell that she's really, really trying with the scenes. It's not her, because you know that she can act. It's the director, and there's the director right there, Zelda Williams, right? Is that one of them right there? And the writer? Guys, I was shocked. Okay? I was shocked about how awful this movie was. Because it's a dark comedy. I didn't laugh. I went mockingly ha ha kind of thing once. There's one scene in here that's kind of like you got that response, but it's not funny. And that synopsis doesn't do a very good job of issuing what the movie is really about. Catherine Newton's character is damaged because she witnessed her mother get murdered, so she's got a bit of an abstract way of looking at life. But this movie's not about that. This movie's like, it's about that, but it's kind of like she's, I hate to say this, guys, but a necrophiliac. And it's not really a love story because they're a murderous couple. They murder people straight up, brutally, axing people, cutting people's genitalia off. And it just doesn't make sense because they're trying to be silly with it. And it's not silly. It's over the top, hammy acting. And it's because, and that's a directing issue, right? Because we know that the actors can do it. We know what Carla Gugino can do. We've seen Fall of the House of Usher, Haunting of Hill House, Bly Manor, you name it. She's awesome. Catherine Newton, we know that she can act, despite being in the MCU and Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. She's a good actress. And you can see that at times when she's doing the lines and stuff. But then they'll use lines where it's like, and then we got to go back home, right? It's like that kind of cheesy acting. It's like, where did that line come from? That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And then you're watching people get cut up, and it's like the story doesn't make sense. It's kind of like he's driving a car, and he's saying like, well, take me to this place. How would he know how to drive the car? How would he know where anything is? There's scenes in here where they're in school, and they're walking in the hallways, and I don't know, it must have been like lower budget to the sense where they use the same extras in the background. And it's like she's standing at the lockers, and you'll see a bunch of people walk back in the background. And you'd be like, oh, okay. They'll cut to a different angle, and then you'll see people walk in the same direction, the same people walking in the same direction from a different point in time. It's like, wait a minute. Did they just rewind? It's like the Matrix, the cat in the Matrix, where it's kind of like it bleeps and then it goes back. It's like that awful in editing. This directing, it's terrible. It's awful. Let's go over to the director and take a look at her credits. Zelda Williams, written by Diablo Cody. Zelda Williams, the daughter of, well, Robin Williams, right? She was an actress, so she seems like you would think that she would understand acting. It does, and it's not even her first directing gig. She's done some music videos. She did Kappa Kappa Die, which was a full-length kind of thing, and some TV stuff, TV movie stuff. This is atrocious, guys. This is an abomination of, I don't know what was going on. What it made me feel is this should have been a streaming movie. This is the prime case. You don't need to go to the theater to watch something like this. This belongs on Tubi, and not on the front pages of Tubi, like on the 4th, 5th, maybe even the 10th page of scrolling down through Tubi, where it's kind of like, oof. Hey guys, what kind of movies are we looking at here? Because well, if you know anything about Tubi, it's kind of like, well, it's got some just ridiculous kind of it's got this. See, this is the good stuff, right? But when you get down to like I don't know, even lambs with teeth, Freddy's Friday, like this kind of bottom of the barrel kind of what is like yeah, this is where this movie belongs, right here, with all of this other kind of schlock that couldn't get up into the theaters or got recycled for like this being out for so long. It's kind of like whatever. All right, let's not keep this going for too long, guys. Let's get into the score sheet. Acting, I thought that I could give acting a full point for, at least that they were trying. But because of the atrocious directing, I'm going to give it at least a 0.5. Sorry, 0.5. Because there's so many bad over-the-top hammy acting parts where it's just like, this is terrible, guys. I want to get out. Get me out of here. And for directing, some of the shots were framed okay, maybe. Some of the shots. The story sucks. Guys, it takes about a good 35 minutes even to get to the Frankenstein character. 35 minutes. I was like, we're just getting to him now? Wow. Yeah, it's that slow. It's that bad. There's an interesting premise in here about, her mother getting killed in front of her and stuff like that, and her trying to relate to the dead. There's something interesting there to be explored. But Diablo Cody, as the writer, was not the right person to do this. This is god awful. Cinematography, serviceable. Score, serviceable. And you guys, look at that. Look where we're headed for Lisa Frankenstein. Let's go over to the tomato meter. Take a look at what's going on there. 52% by critics. It doesn't have an audience score yet? Guys, it came out yesterday. Let me refresh the page. Not yet. So maybe that'll come up in just a little bit. But yeah, Diablo Cody and Zelda Williams talk Lisa Frankenstein. R-rated cut is the boldest scene. Even if you put in all the blood and gore, it doesn't take away from the hammy acting uh, and just ridiculous, stupid stuff that happens in this, where it's kind of like, why are we spending so much time watching somebody eat a bowl of cereal? Why? Why? Get me out of the theater, for God's sakes. Like, I wanted to leave, but I was across town at another theater, and I had something to go to right after that was nearby there. So I was kind of like, well, I might as well just hang in there. And I did it for you guys. Hey, I watch these bad movies for you guys. Going over the tomato meter, let's see what some of the snapshot reviews say. See if we're echoing anything that's being said here. Wall Street Journal. The movie seems long, though it's barely 100 minutes. As bright as Mrs. Cody's imagination is, she deserves a director who understands comic tempo. That's bold. That's not good. But see what he says here about it being long? Well, it's because we're watching people eat cereal. Why? Lisa Frankenstein can't quite settle on the right notes to balance the elements of dark and light humor. Good song, it's just played in the wrong key, Detroit News says. So, yeah. People who did like it, though, let's take a look at what they're saying. I laughed throughout. Oh, well, were you half in the bag? Seriously. And even with all the goofy dismemberment mayhem, there was an innate sweetness that captured my heart and refused to let it go. If you're willing to look past the bad acting. No, I can't even. No, I'm sorry. I can't agree with that one. I can't. Let's see if there's anybody else on here. Dead on Arrival, says Kurt Lauder. Let's see if there's anybody. I'm hoping that Matt Donato is on here somewhere. He's usually good at getting these things up. I want to see if he's here because, yeah, there he is. Daily Dead. Oh, because he liked it. But he also liked The Gallows, which is another terrible movie. Zelda Williams brings Diablo Cody's undead teen romance to life like the second coming of an early Tim Burton, harvesting an uncanny gothic romance from spare human parts. But, Kay, there is a premise there that works where it's kind of like, okay, we're dealing with reanimated kind of parts and exploring like sins of the flesh kind of stuff. But there was a movie that just came out that explored this and was funnier, way funnier than this, even though it was not supposed to be funny, that did this kind of subject matter much better, and that was Poor Things. Poor Things is a masterpiece. And I don't know, like maybe they were trying to make Poor Things for like the teen audience, but it didn't work, and it didn't end. It just kept on going on, and it's like, why are you standing in this? Just get me out of this movie. Stop putting the next scene in because I don't care, for God's sakes. And it's like, that's how frustrating this movie was to watch. And I'm not going to forgive it. I'm not going to, like, even if they were my friends, like Zelda Williams, like, well, I'm getting sense from some of these critics that that's perhaps the case, Diablo Cody, because they don't want to step on the hands of people that they're friends with. That's what I'm getting, that impression from these kinds of things on the Rotten Tomatoes. I'm waiting to see what Jeremy Johns or Stuckman says. Well, Stuckman, if he doesn't like it, he won't post a review for it. Mark reviews. Things just sort of happen in Lisa Frankenstein, or at least that's the sensation of this momentumless, dark comedy. And it's not even funny, guys. It's not even funny. Grace Randolph. The cast is great, particularly Newton, but this is a watered-down bubblegum version of Jennifer's Body. Cody's script is very lazy, and the movie plays like a student film, exactly, rather than a professional endeavor. Very weak. And finally, somebody who didn't like it, a Canadian Richard Krause. It's a sweet, strange zombie love story that understands teenage angst and how the heart wants what it wants, even if that heart no longer beats. Guys, Lisa Frankenstein, one of the worst movies that I've seen in a long time. And let's not beat around the bush. Let's wrap up this score. Is the premise interesting? Yes, the premise is interesting. Is it worth checking out when you're? It's not even worth going to check out, guys. Like I thought maybe I could give it a 0.5 to say, well, if it's on streaming, maybe perhaps. If you're a Catherine Newton fan, maybe that's it. Carla Gugino. She really tries, and she delivers some of the worst dialogue that I've seen in the best way that you could possibly do it. So I'll give a watchability factor 0.5. If it's on TV, if it's on Tubi, which it will be later on, maybe that's when you check out Lisa Frankenstein. 3 out of 10 for Lisa Frankenstein, guys. Did you want to go out and see this movie? Do you think that this is a good thing? Let me know in the comments below, and we will talk about it. All right. Hey, if you like this kind of stuff, come join us here on Mirror Domains, because we cover a lot of movie news kind of stuff and movie things where we just like do movie reviews. We talk about movie trailers, trailer reactions. We watch full movie reactions with you guys, full live reactions. So you guys can come in and talk with us in the live chats while we're watching these movies together. And it's a lot of fun. Well, I'm going to get to Anatomy of a Fall coming soon. And then, of course, we do movie news headlines throughout the week, where we talk about all the trending movie news headlines of the day. So let me know your thoughts of the movie if you saw it, and come join us here on Mirror Domains. Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Enjoy the rest of your day. All right, so that will be cut out and put up on the channel later on. Let's put up the YouTube chat again and take some comments. I've just watched, Chris Schober says, I've just watched Freddy Fridays, James, yesterday on Tubi. It's a pretty violent movie, but it works out. Wait, it's cheesy in some ways. Okay. Why is my YouTube chat box not cropping properly? Let me just see if I can ascertain why that is happening. It seems to be a lag in the chat, guys, and it's not mine. It's not on my end, so weird. Weird, man. Sorry about that, guys. I don't know why YouTube keeps on changing the dimensions for their chat box, because I crop things in OBS for it to be static, and they keep on changing it, and it kind of sucks. All right, I just thought Freddy Friday was gory. Oh, sorry. I would check it out, James. It's a pretty interesting movie, though. Freddy's Friday. Well, I just had Tubi pulled up here. Let's go over to that and see if it's there. Tubi. What did you say? Freddy's Friday. Oh, okay. Yeah. 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 We saw that in the background, right? It's only an hour and 16 minutes. Danielle Scott. All right. Well, just in case there's some nudity. I don't know anything about it, but if you're recommending it, I'll give it a whirl, maybe. Why not? All right, so let's get back into the movie news headlines. Lisa Frankenstein opens up this week, and I think it's really pretty much the only major release coming out. So I don't think it's gonna impact the box office, guys. When I went to see it yesterday, it was only me and one other person in the theater. An hour and 41 minutes, and it felt like it was 2.5 hours. And I know that people are poo-pooing all over Argyle, but I would say if you didn't go see Argyle last week, go see it this week. Trust me. Okay. The differences between Argyle and Lisa Frankenstein are that they're both silly and ridiculous, while Lisa Frankenstein's not funny or cohesive. Argyle's at least cohesive. There's an arc there. And yes, silly, ridiculous stuff happens with skating, particularly. Stupid, really stupid. But everything else in the film kind of makes up for it, where you're kind of like, oh, I'll ignore that part because I really enjoyed the rest of it. That's the way I would look at it. Anyone But You is out in theaters, still hanging in there for the Valentine Encore. Yeah. Turning Red is in theaters, re-release. Beekeeper. Wait a minute. The Turning Red never did come to the theaters, did it? It went straight to streaming. Wasn't that the thing where they were complaining that they did the producers dirty? Mean Girls musical still playing. Fighter in Hindi is still playing. Wonka. Terry Baton Man Isa Ulia Jiwa. Sorry, I really butchered that. International Romance. And then Dune reissue is coming out. Yeah, so they're going to be reissuing Dune Part 1 as we lead up to March 1st for Dune Part 2. And pretty much every theater is going to be doing it. And I might sneak out to go see it in the big screen again. But I kind of want to watch it with you guys, even though it just left Netflix, didn't it? Maybe I can find a copy somewhere else. Let's just take a look. It did leave Netflix, right? I think it left like February, or I think it left like... Wait a minute. Damsel's out? Oh, no, the Damsel's not out yet. I was like, we're watching that. We're watching that right now. Anyway, no. So no, it's gone. I'll find it. It's on HBO, isn't it? What else kind of comes out? Kadari. Warning 2. The Chosen Season 4 again. That'll probably be number 2. The Beekeeper, yes. So there's not a whole lot in the theaters right now, guys. Dune Part 1 will maybe bite a little bit of the box office, but this is not a good start for February. Terrible. Because Argyle, Lisa Frankenstein, really, really not good. What even comes out? What comes out next week? Oh, yeah. Madame Web comes out next week. That's... February is rough. Wasn't... January was way better than this. Yeah, we started off with Night Swim last month, but it got better. It did. This is going to be a terrible month because the tracking for Madame Web is terrible, which maybe could bode well for Argyle. But you know what's going to happen? Anyone But You, that rom-com is going to get boosted this week because it's the only romantic comedy in theaters. Dune Part 1 re-release is going to get up into the top 5 probably. Yeah, so it's not good. Not good times. Talking about Dune, let's talk about Dune Part 2 box office projections. It's tracking. Dune Part 2 tracking to make 65 plus million domestically over its opening weekend. Plus, we get a fan event. And I have tickets for that fan event. And I'm seeing it February 25th, Sunday, February 25th, Dune Part 2 Early Access Fan Event in IMAX. So yeah, I'm seeing it in IMAX, which is good. And I got my ticket yesterday, so I'm sitting right here, guys, I-19. I wanted to sit over on this side, but it didn't let me buy, because this is where you come into the theater and you go up the stairs like this. It didn't let me buy one of these ones. Oh, now you can get the 4. Huh. It wanted me to butt up against this person. I didn't want to be. I don't want to be sandwiched in between two people. And it's going to be packed. This is going to be the first packed theater I think I've been in since Spider-Man No Way Home. And in that theater, people were even down in the front. Like, you know how there's that break and you got the 3 or 4 rows that are like, you can't see anything kind of thing. Like, even those seats were full for Spider-Man. Dune Part 2. This is for the fan event, though. The tracking is for the actual weekend of March 1st coming out. So 65 for that weekend. Um, I think the trailers look magnificent. It looks regal, epic, right? The cast is fantastic. Zendaya dishes on content differences. March 1st. Guys, are you hyped for Doom Part 2? I certainly am. I totally am. Because this is the part of the story that's my favorite part of the story. The Doom Part 1 set up a lot of the stuff that now is going to get paid off. This is where we get to see a lot more of the gross stuff from the Harkonnens. Which I'm really looking forward to see how gross they get, because now that Fade's going to be there, he's going to be pushing a lot of things, right? And then I can't wait to see the throwdown between Austin Butler's Fade, Routha, and Timothée Chalamet's Paul Atreides, Muad'Dib. Sorry, yeah, I can't wait for that. That's gonna be cool. And then I like the chemistry that Zendaya has with Timothée Chalamet, so I think that's gonna pay off well. And the trailer seemed to really highlight that, with it opening with them, like uh, about them kind of like making the pledge to each other, kind of like no matter what happens, I'm always going to love you, kind of thing, like that. That's the backbone of, I hope, of what's going to be driving like the emotional state of the film. And then it's just going to be interlaced with a whole bunch of cool visual effects and uh, political intrigue with what's going on with the emperor coming in and looking at what the Harkonnens have been kind of like blundering. Because if you don't know the part of the story, guys, basically they got to Dune and Arrakis there in the first one. They met the Fremen, and the Harkonnens took over control by killing his father and stuff. Now he wants to lead a revolution against them, but he does that by destroying and disrupting the spice flow from the planet. So the Harkonnens get in trouble. That causes the Emperor to come down on the Harkonnens, right? Um, and that's fascinating stuff. That is, and I trust in Denis Villeneuve to bring us home on that one. So it's tracking for 65 million plus, and I think that's going to happen, man. Oh, we got like look how much is going to happen. Let's take a look at the prime time for Dune. Oh, this is on the really nice seating. Let's go over to the IMAX theater. 6:45. So it is starting to fill up there. XXXX. I don't think no, Cineplex doesn't have theirs up yet. But I'm hyped. I totally am. Artglass Viking says Madame Web looks great from the trailers. I really hope they haven't overcooked it. There is a possibility that when Madame Web comes out, that people will come out going, "Oh, that wasn't all that bad." Kind of like with Blue Beetle. That's what I want to have happen, right? Where it's kind of like, just another story like this, guys. Please, we've seen this before. Oh, huh, Madame Web. I wasn't expecting that. Like that kind of a response, right? Chris Rober says, "I'm so hyped for Doom Part 2. Yeah, me too, man. You should do a watch along for Freddy Friday." Well, maybe we can. I don't know, guys. Maybe tomorrow we can fit in something. But I really want to try to getting. I want to try to get through at least Maestro. We'll see tomorrow. It really depends. All right, next, Ryan Reynolds in the headlines. Moving on with a new movie after Deadpool 3. Ryan Reynolds and Sean Levy announced next movie collaboration with boy band. Boy band? What? Well, you know what? This seems to be a dynamic duo coming along here. You know how Martin Scorsese has his Leonardo DiCaprio? Well, Sean Levy seems to have his Ryan Reynolds. And hey, guys, Movie Web, you need an editor because he forgot the N in the end of Shaw. Shaw Levy. Who's that? Patricia. Get that fixed, please. That was 14 hours ago, for God's sakes. Ryan Reynolds and Sean Levy are teaming up for their fourth collaboration. Yes, because they did Free Guy, The Adam Project, Deadpool 3, and now the fourth one. About an unnamed heist comedy. Levi's involvement in boy band has been confirmed as part of Paramount Pictures. Is that the name of the title of the movie? Boy Band? Levy, Levy and Reynolds have had a strong working relationship. Yes, we know that. Boy Band was announced in February 2023. The extent of Levy's participation is unknown, though. Okay, so he may not even direct it. He's just producing it, maybe working with Reynolds to develop it. Interesting. But they are a good team. I had lots of fun with Free Guy. It was a laugh. Uh, and then I really liked Adam Project. There was like that's it introduced me to Walker Scoble, and he's a big talent. Of course, people are watched him in Percy Jackson, and then working together on Deadpool 3. There were talks that he wanted to do a Star Wars project, and if Sean Levy does a Star Wars project, then Ryan Reynolds will be in that. That would be awesome. Well, hey, whatever they do, it should be good, right? Boy Band. A heist movie called Boy Band. While details surrounding Boy Band are scarce, we do know that Ryan Reynolds will star and produce. Levy will direct. Oh, okay, he will direct. And Jesse Andrews co-scribed the film script alongside with Reynolds. Okay, so Reynolds also helped write this. Heist movies are hit and miss. They don't always land with people, even with movies that I liked, like Lift with Kevin Hart last month. I like that. People seem to not like it, but even Ryan Reynolds with Red Notice on Netflix, I thought it was harmless. It wasn't a great film, a heist type movie. It didn't resonate with people, so we'll have to see how that goes. But maybe with the Sean Levy combination, that'll work. Let's talk about Highlander. Highlander reboot with Henry Cavill is one of my most anticipated because I do like the Highlander movie. Who's the villain going to be, guys? Remake rumor, is Michael Fassbender the villain? Huh. A new rumor from the industry insider Daniel Richtman suggests Fassbender is in talks to play the villain in Lionsgate's Highlander. Now, does that... I don't know. You thought, well, Henry Cavill's a big dude. Who are you going to get bigger? who are you going to cast as a bigger dude to play the Kurgan, right? Who's got that kind of a clout to play like a big menacing guy that could, give Henry Cavill a run for his money? It's kind of like who could possibly do that? Oh, I don't know. Maybe this guy, Alan Ritchson. Could he play the Kurgan? That would have been my line of thinking. But if you're not going to go for the I'm not saying Fassbender's in good shape, and you know that he can act, and you know he can play bad guys like Magneto and stuff like that. You know he can play the villain. I don't know. It's an odd choice, but I would like it because you know that he would deliver awesomeness. But it almost makes me think. According to Rickman, Fassbender's in talks to star alongside Henry Cavill as a Mongol warrior. What? Mongol warrior? Does Fassbender look like a Mongol to you guys? James, does very... People from that country can look like that, can't they? I don't know. The rumor already has Highlander fans buzzing about Fassbender playing the version of Highlander's villain, the Kurgan. Well, you better have the Kurgan in there. Otherwise, what's the point in calling it a remake? Portrayed by the legendary Clancy Brown. Yeah. It's better to burn out than fade away. And how did he talk like that throughout the entire film? Because you would burn out your vocal cords talking like that. But yeah, it was cool. He did a great job. The Kurgan is an immortal warrior with a thorn in his side for Connor McLeod, the Highlander, Christoph Lambert. Stileski is directing. But it almost seems, for me, guys, you know what would be more interesting is if Fassbender played Connor McLeod and Henry Cavill played the Kurgan. Oh, man. That would be awesome. That's what I would be, because you've heard reports that Henry Cavill's beefing up, and you don't like this is the way that Christopher Lambert played uh, Connor was kind of like he was never big or beefier like that, and Michael Fassbender's not big and beefy, but Henry Cavill is big and beefy. I don't know. I'm sure that there's a way that they could do it. I just there's a few things that give me pause. Like, why is he playing a Mongol warrior? But then again, you look at the first Highlander, and it's kind of like, well, why is a Scottish dude playing a Spaniard? Kind of thing, right? That casting is all possible. Could Fassbender be playing the version of Ramirez, what is from Mongolia instead? I don't know. I don't know. It's interesting because that's one other piece that we'll need in there is who's going to be playing Ramirez, right? Or the Ramirez type role. So we'll have to see. Arglass Viking says, I will reserve judgment on Fassbender if he is the big bad of Highlander. He's not animated enough for the Kurgan, I reckon. Well, if he stretches himself, maybe, as an actor, trying to push himself into uncomfortable realms. I thought that the days of the Western washing of Asian characters were over. Well, me too. Like a Mongol warrior for Fassbender? Arglass says, yeah, Michael Fassbender is so he would work as Highlander. Help. Help? No. Yeah, interesting. This is just insider, guys. It's not confirmed, but this is the talk of the town. We're just taking the pulse on it, and I like him joining the cast would be good. But yeah, who's going to be playing Ramirez? Because if they're going to be facing off, if he's going to be facing off against a beefier Henry Cavill, he's going to have to throw down against somebody who would be playing Ramirez, who gets killed by him. We'll have to see. I'll have to see how it pans out, guys. I'll keep my eye open for this because it is one of my most anticipated projects coming up. And we'll have to see if they do it justice. Denzel Washington and Spike Lee are reuniting for a remake of Akira Kurosawa's extortion drama High and Low. While talking about remaking stuff and hoping that they do justice to the stuff. A lot of fans, Akira Kurosawa fans out there, and they're remaking the classic crime drama. Well, you know, Denzel is one of the best actors out there right now. He's, easily Hall of Famer. I'll watch him in everything. And I liked Equalizer 3, guys. So it's going to be an Apple original film. Oh, so they're going to have a $200 million budget for this because that seems to be what Apple does. Anyway, I never saw Kurosawa's original High and Low, so I don't have a stake in it. But Alan Fox and Lee wrote the script for High and Low remake with A24. Okay. Production kicks off in March. In addition to directing and co-writing, Lee will executive produce. Spike Lee, huh? Spike Lee. He's remade stuff before, like Old Boy, which a lot of people did not like. I'm one of the few that prefer the Spike Lee's Old Boy over the original. James, that's heresy. Don't you know how iconic the original version is? Yeah, I know, guys. The hallway scene is better in the original. Yes, I know. The reveal at the end is better in the original. But it just, for me, because I didn't know the concept of the movie, my first exposure to that story was going to the theater to watch the Spike Lee version. And I thought the ending was handled well in that as well. So I trust Spike Lee on remaking stuff. I do. Any comments? Let's see if we got some comments here. I'm going to be cautiously optimistic about the one simply because of Denzel, but Lee is more miss than hit. High and Low is an absolute classic. Well, yeah, you're going to have people like that. Last time Spike remade an Asian classic, it didn't exactly work out that well. Well, I'm going to hit thumbs down on that. Oh, I have to sign in. Now, it's got Denzel, so I'll end up watching it regardless. And he's working with Spike Lee, so that's always cool. They did Malcolm X together, right? Zac Efron is in the headlines again. Famous. Zac Efron takes on dual roles in Jodie Hill's Blake Crouch thriller. Zac Efron is to play dual roles from Famous directed. Oh, the title is called Famous. Okay, directed by Jodie Hill. There he is with John Cena. Ricky Stanicky. That's for a trailer. That's for something different. He'll be playing dual roles. Give me a synopsis here, please. Lance Dunquist has one asset that's about to change his life. He has to face a movie star. He is the face of a movie star. Sorry. And not just any movie star. Lance is the spitting image of a Hollywood icon, James Jensen. Lance is about to travel to LA to make his dream come true. Lance is going to be famous no matter what it takes. Okay, so he looks like a movie star. Guys, if you didn't see Iron Claw last year, Zac Efron knocked it out of the park with that. And he's got my trust. And I know that he can handle the dramatic roles now. He's kind of broken out of that comedic kind of pigeonhole that they were trying to put him in, kind of thing, right? No, if yeah, you know that Iron Claw is one of my favorite movies from last year, and a lot of it had to do with Zac Efron's acting. He can bring it, and he's going to play a dual role in this. It colored me intrigued. Famous. Yeah. So where do you guys land on that one? That's some good casting. Any comments? No comments? All right. Fascinating. I'll move my light a little bit closer. It's Friday. Let's talk about some horror headlines. Evil Dead. Sebastian Vanacek has creative control on the next film. We'll give it a French twist. Okay, so French filmmaker Sebastien has created, Vanacek has creative control on the Evil Dead movie, has been hired to make and will give it a French twist. So yeah, they are making another Evil Dead after Evil Dead Rise did so well at the box office, or at least resonated with people enough, right? Evil Dead franchise rights holders Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell let it be known that they're already looking forward to producing more entries in the series, with a new sequel spin-off every 2 or 3 years. Well, yeah, because that's what the Evil Dead can do, because the Deadites, this is what frustrated me about Evil Dead Rise was, okay, you got out, they released you, why are you going to be confining yourself to this condominium complex? If you're out, who cares about the people in that apartment? Go on and destroy the rest of the world. What you want to do, Deadites? You're out. You're free. But anyway, I understood that they were in the originals. They were isolated into the woods and stuff. But yeah, it's kind of like Quiet Place Day One and Bird Box Barcelona, where it's kind of like Deadites just don't have to come out from that book, because as we saw in the mythos that was confirmed in Evil Dead Rise, there is more than one Necronomicon. And I'm sure that there's more than one way to summon the Deadites. Heaven in a different place and heaven in a French environment, fine. That'll make a lot of Francophones here happy in Canada. Maybe. So, looking forward to that. Vermin infested Evil Dead movie. Vanacek is translated from French, and that's a long. There's no synopsis for it yet, I don't think. But just to let you know that it's going with a French twist for the next Evil Dead. The Swallow. Starry Eyes and Pet Sematary directors take on survivor thriller Grace, starring Grace Van Dien. Best horror, Starry Eyes. The Swallow. Okay, so what's this? The Swallow. Come Come on. The story The Swallow centers on a group of teens who are abandoned in a deadly forest. Van Dien is taken on the role of Ziggy, along, along with four friends, journeys out on a camping trip to a picturesque remote forest. But trespassing into an off-limits area, they awaken an uncanny terror in the woods and a ravenous hunger from within the earth. Soon, the ground itself is trying to swallow anything and anyone that comes into contact with Ziggy and her friends. Have nowhere to run, as every trembling step that they take could be their last. So it's kind of like a mix-up between what? Tremors meets The Ritual? That's what I'm getting from that. But Grace Van Dien. Come on, James, you can do better than that. Stranger Things. Chrissy Cunningham. That's right. That's where that name comes familiar. Stranger Things. 3 episodes. Julie's Live. What else has she been in? A lot of TV stuff. Next. The Piper trailer. Horror film starring Julian Sands will be released in March. One of his final films that was done and put in the can. And guys, I watched this trailer and it's hard. It's not hard, but it's just kind of like, it bums me out to see him because he's like, just looking at his face there, he's conveying that there's something going on that's like, what are you talking about, dude? Yeah, he's just got so much charisma. His passing, if you don't know, guys, he was out in an avalanche area for some reason looking for, he must have been looking for people or something, or heard something, and he fell and he got, well, trapped and died out there and in the woods. And that sucks. That sucks. Because it seems like he was a good dude in real life and stuff. And his passing was tragic. And so his movies are going to be coming out that were filmed and put in the can. And The Piper is one of them. What is it about? It's about a musician, a composer, who writes a piece of music that, I guess, summons evil. And Julian Sands is a different composer that wants to use the tainted composer's music to inspire people or play for kids or something like that. So not only do you got, like, I think this is the evil composer that was trying to discovered evil in the writings of her music. I guess killed herself or something. That's what the trailer is trying to portray. So she kills herself to try to stop the evil, but then Julian Sands uncovers that music piece and is like, I want to use it. It's bold, it's daring, kind of thing. So it's an interesting premise. I like it, and I'm going to watch it because of Julian Sands. I don't think he's the main character, but it's called The Piper. I think it's supposed to be kind of like a callback to like the Pied Piper kind of thing. How a certain level of music. What's that behind her? Can I brighten that up a little bit, James? No, that's already bright. Yeah, that's already bright. There's something there, right? Something there right behind her. I don't know what that is. Like, it's really dark. The trailer is dark. And guys, this image here is already brightened. I've brightened that quite a bit. Yeah. Interesting. I'll be checking that out for sure. Showers just said that they released last night the Devil trailer for 2024. Okay, I could see myself watching Zac in Famous, but in that Ricky Stanicky movie looks whack. Is that comedy? I must have not seen that trailer. Arglass says so. Basically, the Deadites need a tour manager to go out on the road. Maybe. The Jack in the Box Rises trailer is on YouTube, James. It's pretty gory. Okay. Well, I guess I can take a look at my subscription feed and see. Oh, you know. Okay, so Stuckman put it out a review. I'm going to be curious to see if he calls out the same stuff, though. At least, I want to see if he acknowledges that there's some bad acting choices that were used. The directing. I want to see if he's. So I'll be watching that while I have my breakfast. Jeremy Jahns is not out yet, but he did a Final Fantasy VII Rebirth demo. Thoughts? Fascinating. Night Shift trailer. I'm not seeing one for. What was that one? Jack in the Box? Late Night with the Devil. Cuckoo. Yes, I remember Cuckoo. Huh. Fascinating. Well, we'll have to keep a look at that. Keep our eyes on that. Is that it for today, guys? Are we done? New Oscar categories. Let's talk about that. That came out the other day. New Oscar for casting, and that's long overdue. And I thought that it would be this year, but no, it's set for 2026. Javier Callas in the live chat says, "Hey guys, hey, how's it going, Javier? Welcome. Come on in. We're just talking about movies. We're on our last category here, new Oscar categories, talking about the casting. And some people are a little bit confused about this. They're kind of like, well, does that mean for the cast that appears in it? Sort of. It's for the people that assembled the cast. It's kind of like, well, okay, we went out and we got Henry Cavill for the Highlander. Now, who do we pair him with? Let's try with Fassbender. That's the casting director. That's what the casting director does. Like they look at the casting, they look at the script, and they're like the descriptions, and they're like, who could play this role? Does it fit? Do they have the right chemistry? Kind of stuff. And that comes into play in a lot of films. And when you look at like Oppenheimer, that casting director putting that cast together is like, wow. And it's not like that. It's not like a casting where it's like where it's an ensemble, but it's not an ensemble like Clue where they're all interacting with each other. They're all doing their different parts, right? Kind of thing. And so it's like it's a very challenging thing, and I'm very, very happy that the Oscars are finally going to give that some recognition because that is part of the filmmaking process. Now, I'm just like everybody else here, though, guys. I am. Will stunt workers and voice actors be next? Voice acting, I think, could be up there, should be up there, as well as maybe motion capture as well. But maybe you could lump in voice. No, you can't. No, don't lump that in, James. But stunt work for sure, because if you watch some of the behind the scenes stuff for like John Wick, and the training, the practice that goes into all that stuff to make it seem seamless on film, that's art in itself. And like if you can get stunt choreographers in there, like and directors like Stileski or Nick Gillard, like stuff like that, people like that getting awards for like the work that they do on the set, is like that deserves recognition too, for a couple reasons. Not only because it looks good when you do all the rehearsals and stuff, but like what the stunt people do as well, they have to think on the fly as well, like actors, where it's kind of like the director may come in and say, okay guys, I know that we rehearsed it like this, we blocked it like this, but it's not working. We got to figure out something new. So the stunt people will be like, okay, we're gonna go pull some extra hours on the weekend and go try to hash out something else in the warehouse, and they'll come back and they'll be like, okay, well we'll try this, and that's art as well, and I think that deserves recognition. Voice acting, that's definitely way overdue, and I want to see, because voice acting, the tendency with a lot of Hollywood animated films is that we'll just hire Chris Pratt, we'll hire all the big name actors. While they can act and do voice acting, the real treasures are the people that don't do a lot of the real acting, like the in-person acting, because the voice acting is just, there's people that take it just to the different levels, like Peter Cullen, the Frank Weller um, kind of people that just transform. John DiMaggio, right? Who else? Who else am I thinking? Tara Strong. Now Tara's done a lot of. She's done live action stuff, and I do like her, but she's very pro vegan, posting dead animals on her X, so I couldn't I couldn't follow that. But what do you guys think about that new Oscar coming in 2026? So it won't be this year for that new Oscar category. It'll be for the 2026. So we're still like 2 years away from that, right? I'll be looking forward to that. Arglass says stop motion trailer looks promising. It's horror, but it's on a streaming platform. Okay. Andy Serkis deserved an Oscar for playing Gollum and Smeagol. He was also really good as Caesar in the Planet of the Apes movies. Andy Serkis. Yeah. Chris Schober says this YouTube channel guy reviewed the Freddy Friday movie and thought it was decent, but some cheesy ways, James. Oh, okay. I'm not even seeing a trailer for Freddy Friday. It's that low budget. Let me just see. Freddy's Fridays. Oh, no, I did find a trailer. So is it supposed to be a little bit like animatronics coming to life kind of thing? Because that's what I was getting there. Darkness awakens in evil. Whoops. Yeah, so there's like animatronics or something. A little bit like a mix between that and maybe a little bit of killer clowns from outer space. Who's this? All right. Everyone involved in making this should be absolutely ashamed of themselves. Why? I'm very ashamed. What are you talking about? It'll be the best movie ever. Yeah, so just comparing it to maybe other things like Five Nights at Freddy's or Willy's Wonderland or something like that. But hey, I do like horror and I do have a soft spot for cheesy horror. This girl's screaming a lot, but who is she? Let's go to the IMDb because now I'm intrigued. Now we're going down a rabbit hole here, guys. Came out in 2023, a Tubi movie. And of course, you don't have the actress. Oh, there she is, Danielle Scott. Do I know that person? Her face looks. Oh, she was in Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. Oh, sorry, guys. Oh, she was in Pterodactyl. Yeah, see, now that's the kind of movie that you see on Tubi. Bad Nun. So she's been in a lot of these lower budget grindhouse horror type films. I like her though. Fascinating. Killer Clowns is a classic, Javier says. Yeah. Who's this? She's called victim number 1, I think. Maybe. Well, we've seen her crying in a couple things, but yeah. All right, guys, let's go on to some hit or miss. And if it's a hit, we'll talk about it. If it's a miss, we'll move on. We usually end up talking about stuff anyway. Moana 2 was supposed to be a Disney Plus series. Yeah, we talked about this the other day when the teaser dropped that we're getting Moana 2 in theaters this November. I guess it was supposed to be a series, but why is it hitting in movie theaters instead? Because they just thought it was good enough to be in theaters, is what I'm guessing. But it does give me pause a little bit, though. If it was supposed to be a series, it means that it was supposed to be like 5 or 6 episodes. It's getting chopped down to be a movie. Maybe they course corrected. They said, there's not enough material here for a series. We've got some filler episodes. Just cut out the filler episodes. Well, it's almost short enough to be a movie now. Okay, well, just put it out as a movie. I don't know if that'll work. That doesn't always work, but we'll have to see. Next. Stranger Things, Gaten Matazzaro says more people should be killed in this series. Yeah, I saw this yesterday as well. He came out and said there should be some higher stakes. And then it's the final season that's filming now, right? Um, I have no problem killing off some of the main characters. And if he goes out like a boss, he's like a fan favorite, right? If he goes out like a boss, that would drive home that, yeah, there's some serious stuff on the line here. The only, I do think that 11 is going to die in the final episode. Like she'll sacrifice her body to finally close the upside down forever kind of thing. I think there'll be a duel there with one that'll be kind of like catastrophic for her. I think that'll be like the main thing. But if some other characters die along the way, that would make the stakes a lot higher. It'll feel higher, right? He says, "quote This show should be so much better if the stakes were much higher. Like any moment, any of these kids can kick it. I feel like we're all too safe." Yeah. Um, he thought Steve was going to buy it last season, right? Everybody picked Steve to be one, but I think 11 will go. I think I think, yeah, I think they'll end it on a little bit of a darker note, but it'll be kind of like a sacrifice for the better of good kind of thing. What do you guys think about that quote? That's interesting. More dragons, more incest. HBO develops yet another Game of Thrones prequel series. What's going on with the Jon Snow series? Shouldn't that be out? HBO is developing yet another one. The story of Aegon Targaryen's brutal conquest of the Westeros. So is that the crazy king? Aegon Targaryen. I don't know, man. They had so much ambition when Game of Thrones ended, and House of the Dragon paid off. I'm glad that they shot the pilot for another spinoff with what was it, Naomi Watts, right? They shot it. They were going to do more episodes, and they're like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, guys! This is not what we're going for. It's not good. Scrap it." And they scrapped it. So there's a series out there with Naomi Watts as in House of Dragon or in a spinoff that just I guess didn't work. Yeah, we had that big long list of things that they wanted to try to make. I don't know. The second season for House of the Dragon is this summer, and we will be watching that for sure. I love the first season. Um, I just like that world. It's so visceral, it's so real, and it's that's a series where it's kind of like, yeah, anybody can die kind of thing, right? Matt Smith, Damon, yeah, yeah, it's great. I can't wait to see that. uh and then her as the older Rhaenyra. They were good as the older Rhaenyra. She's a See, it's even hard for me. Darcy is a they them. uh, I'm not persecuting it. I'm just trying to say, okay. Aegon's conquest is probably the biggest story of GOT lore outside of the Dance of the Dragons. Hopefully, this is the next series to film after House of the Dragon finishes. Well, I don't know if House of the Dragon's going to finish for a while, because didn't they say that they wanted House of the Dragon to be kind of like 5 seasons? As long as they don't drag it out, that's all, right? They're going to have to introduce some kind of another element in the next season, and we'll have to see how that goes. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I don't know. All right, guys, that's all I have on tap, and we are going overtime today, but that's fine because, uh, yeah, I got stuff that I got to do this afternoon. I have to go out and get the old Pearly checked out, dentist appointment. Not, I don't have cavities or anything, but it just checkup and cleaning and all that kind of stuff because it's been years. It was before the pandemic that I've had my teeth Under the microscope. So let's go over to the Twitterverse and round it out. See if I missed any big headlines. Director of Another Round jokes about Chris Rock directing the English remake of his film. I have good expectations. Chris Rock directing an English version of Another Round. That was with Mads Mikkelsen, right? They're like, I don't know if they're alcoholics, but it's about drinking, going around the countryside drinking kind of stuff, right? I want to refresh this because we're getting about halfway. I want an audience score. Perfect Days is 94%. Manu Rios, don't know who that is. Jake Gyllenhaal. What's with the bagginess? He's trying to cover up his physique a little bit. Not that there's anything wrong with it. It looks kind of sleek, despite the fact that it's like all hanging on him. It actually looks comfortable, right? It's not like all tucked in with a big neck, tight tie around your neck, and that actually looks comfortable. But it is baggy. Paul Mescal. Lisa Frankenstein is now playing in theaters. Yeah, don't bother, guys. Taylor Swift plans to make her feature debut after her tour ends. Okay, so next year, wait a minute, okay, hold on. She's releasing an album this year, April, which I will get. And then she's got to finish out her European tour and then finish off a few North American dates for the Eras tour. And then she'll go into productions for a movie, which tells me that she doesn't plan to start a family anytime soon. So she'll be like 35 before she settles down, which is still enough time for her to become a mother. It's getting up there. And she's going to be a fantastic mother. Will it be Travis Kelce, though? That'll be the father. I don't know. It'll be me, obviously, right? I'm too old to start a family. The Color Purple is on Max February 16th. Upgraded is on Prime Video, starring Camila Mendes and Archie Renault. Okay. Nicole Kidman and Harris Dickinson on the set of A24's erotic thriller. Erotic thriller. I do like Nicole Kidman. One of my favorite actresses. Dickinson, very competent, and he was also really good in. He was in. Yeah, he was in Iron Claw. He was one of the first brothers to meet his demise, which sucks. Thanks for bringing up all the memories, James. Baby Girl, huh? Camila Mendes upgraded premiere. Game of Thrones spin-off series in the works. Yeah, we know that. How to Train Your Dragon. Okay, so our set pick, Nico Parker and Mason Thames on the set of How to Train Your Dragon. And Gerard Butler's playing his father, so that's going to be cool. At least he's going to be playing like that role. Is that, like, look at that coastline. Are they filming in Ireland? How to Train Your Dragon? Or Scotland, maybe? It would be Scotland, right? I don't know. Well, I guess because it was a cartoon, but whatever. Yeah. David Fincher honoring Mark Ruffalo. Mark Ruffalo got his star on the Walk of Fame. Cool. Kudos. Barry Keoghan on Hot Ones. I saw that. I'm going to watch that episode. See if he can handle the heat. Saltburn. I want to watch Saltburn with you guys. Mark Ruffalo. Yeah, that's kudos. Kudos, man. Denzel Washington and Spike Lee working together again. Yeah, we know that. Barbie, the movie in concert, is coming to the Hollywood Bowl. Yeah, and Gerard Butler is in North Ireland this minute. Oh, really? Cool. I'm keen for a return to Rings of Power. I hope Rings of Power, like Rings of Power, is shooting now, season 2. Actually, it should be wrapped soon because I think Rings of Power was one of the productions that was allowed to continue working during the shutdown, during the strikes, because they already started. Like House of Dragon was allowed to finish their season 2. I don't know. Dakota Johnson's cameo in The Office. I don't know what that is. Zac Efron to star in Famous. Yeah, we know that. Oh, I like the white. Or is that like an off-white jacket? Huh. I like that. Looks trim. Channing Tatum will star in The Roof Man from Derek Cyan, France. The film centers on Jeffrey Manchester, an eccentric and charming serial robber who broke into more than 60 McDonald's overnight from their roofs. Okay. Cillian Murphy to star and produce in Steve for Netflix. The film traces a pivotal 24 hours in the life of the eponymous character, a head teacher at the late of a last chance reform school who struggles to keep his students in line, and also is grappling with mental health. Okay. Well, you know, Cillian Murphy can bring. He's got it. He's got the chops. Toby Jones and Leslie Manville to star in Mr. Burton. The biopic will center around a man who inspired screen legend Richard Burton. Okay. I like Toby Jones. New category for the Oscars. Yeah, we know that. Zendaya, Dune Part 2. New teaser for Inside Out 2 has been released. Teaser for Cuckoo. Yeah, I watched that teaser, guys. It's just a woman standing at the door kind of thing and taking out her knife. That's pretty much all it is. Invincible. Upgraded. All right. The Regime trailer. Yeah, that's pretty much it for me today, guys. I'm hungry. I want to have my breakfast. Yeah. So there you go. Welcome. Thank you for joining us there in the live chat there, Javier. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're going to go out and see Fleece of Frankenstein, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'll chop out my review and put it up on the channel separately later on. And then, yeah, I got to go dentist this afternoon, and I'm going to go to the gym. We'll see. Enjoy your weekend, guys. Hit that thumbs up button. Enjoy the Super Bowl. Yeah, guys, remember, on Sunday, I am working until 4 p.m., so Super Bowl doesn't start until 6 or something, so I'll be fine for that. We'll be fine. I'll be online periodically on Sunday to do all the trailer reactions for all of the movie trailers and stuff that get released. So join us for that, and hopefully we'll get some good ones. What do I really want to see? Yeah. Maybe a glimpse of Deadpool 3 would be cool. Yeah. All right, guys. See you next time. You're watching Mirror Domains.